Hey guys, Miss Richardson here. This week we're going to be talking about unit conversions. Most countries of the world use the metric system, but here in the United States, and there's only about 2 other countries in the world that uses the customary system. So when we talk about capacity, we'll talk about gallons or pints or cups. Um, but in other countries, they talk about liters, milliliters, so on and so forth. When we talk about length and distance, we are referring to inches and feet and yards and miles. But the metric system uses meters, kilometers, kilometers, same thing, kilometers, kilometers, same thing. Our weight, we talk about pounds, ounces, tons, but most of the world talks about kilograms. And thankfully, we're all kind of on the same time. We all use the same 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, so on and so forth. So it is important to be able to convert between different measurements. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we are going to be using proportions to help us do that. We'll be given 1 unit and convert it to a new unit. So when you're working on your assignments this week, if you need to come back and watch this video, please do so. All right, so unit conversions use ratio reasoning to transfer between units. To convert between units, we need to know a conversion factor. So the information here at the top of the screen right here, this is our conversion factor. If we want to know how many feet are in 3 yards, I need to know the conversion factor. So there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So I'm going to take this information and I'm going to create a ratio like this that looks like a fraction. 3 feet equals 1 yard. And then we know where we need to put that 3 in our second ratio. If feet are on the top, this are unknown on the right side. We want 3 yards on the bottom of the second ratio because we have yards here. We need yards here. Okay, so the other day last week we were cross multiplying and dividing. So you're going to cross multiply. So 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times x is 1x, and 1x, the same thing as 1 times x, is just x. So the answer is 9. There's 9 feet and 3 yards. And that's how we would do the first one. All right, what about the next one? It says if we want to convert 5.68 kilometers to grams, we need to know the conversion factor. So we're going to take our conversion factor. We're going to set the ratio up like this as a fraction. It says 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Since we put kilograms on top here, we want kilograms on the top on the second ratio. So 5.68 goes on top. What we don't know is our grams. So that's our variable that shows an unknown number in math. So once again, we're going to cross multiply. So 1 times x is 1x, and 1 times x is just x, right? So basically it's telling us we're going to multiply 5.68 by 1,000, and multiplying by 1,000 moves our decimal 3 places to the right. So the answer is 5,680 grams. That's the answer. Now, so far, we hadn't had anything to divide by because our coefficient was a 1, but that will change in the next few problems. All right, let's take a look at this one. How many inches are in 45 centimeters? So our conversion factor goes here. There's 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the number of inches. So that's why our x is on the top. We don't know how many inches are in 45 centimeters. So we're going to cross multiply. So 45 times 1 is 45. And then 2.54 times x is 2.54x. So to get x by itself, you always divide by the number that is attached to the x, which means we're dividing both sides of the equation by 2.54. So this 2.54 divided by 2.54 is 1, and 1 times x is x. And you can divide, use your calculator if you need to. Divide 45 by 2.45, or 54, excuse me, and the answer is 17.72. So there's about 17.72 inches in 45 centimeters. Okie dokie. Whoops, that should be just a regular N. All right. Let's do some mixed practice. All right, so you guys pause the video, try to figure out all of these on your own, and then come back and check to see if you are correct. All right, the first one, we have gallons on the top, quarts on the bottom. I want to know 9 quarts. Well, quarts are on the bottom with 4, and I don't know how many gallons, so we're going to cross multiply. 9 times 1 is 9. 4 times x is 4x. Now we want to solve for x by dividing what's attached to the x, which is a 4. So 9 divided by 4 is what? What did you guys get? I got 2.25. 2.25 what? Gallons. Okay. Convert 16 fluid ounces to cups. So we have 1 cup to 8 fluid ounces. So our ounces goes on the bottom because that's where we put the 8. Our cups, we don't know. So we're going to cross multiply. 16 times 1 is 16. 8 times x is 8x. And then if we divide by that 8, our answer is 2 cups. All right, the next one, convert 60 inches to centimeters. For 1 inch, there's 2.54 centimeters. Our inches we put on top, so we want to put the 60 on top. We don't know our centimeters. So 1 times, oops, we don't know our centimeters. So 1 times x is x equals, and then all we're going to do is multiply 60 times 2.54, and I got 152.4. 152.4 centimeters. The next one, 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. What if I have 1.45 kilograms? I must put it on the top because this 1 is kilograms as well. How many grams? I don't know, but when we multiply, 1 times x is 1x, which is just x. So when I multiply, I'm basically moving that decimal 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1,450 grams. And then we have 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So 35 miles, so miles is on the top, over x. So if we cross multiply, 1 times x is x equals, and all we're doing is multiplying 35 times 1.61, and we get 56.35 kilograms. Kilometers, excuse me, kilometers. All right, I hope you guys got those right. So sometimes you have to do at least 2 conversions to answer the final questions. And later in the week, you guys are going to have questions similar to this. So this is a very important part of the video. So it says if 1 mile is equal to 3 feet and 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet, how many yards are there in 5 miles? How many yards are in 5 miles? All right, so let's see what we can put together right now. All right, so can we figure out how many feet are in 5 miles? So let's do that. If 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and we want to know how many feet are in 5 miles. So what we did is we set up miles over feet, miles over feet. We got to do this one first until we can, and then we'll finally get to answer the final question about yards. All right, so if we cross multiply, we'd say 1 times x is x equals 5,280 feet times 5 is 26,400 feet. So in 5 miles, there's 26,400 feet. Okay. Now we can set up how many yards are in this many feet. Okay. So 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. This is 26,400 feet. We want to know how many yards is it. All right, so if we cross multiply, we cross multiply and get 26,400 times 1, which is 26,400. And then I'm going to cross multiply 3 times x is 3x. So to get my final answer, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So the answer is 8,800 yards. And that's the final answer. So we had to set up 2 different proportions for that one. All right, so Jackie is 4 feet 8 inches tall. What would be her height in centimeters if 1 foot is equal to 12 inches? Well, first thing we need to do is figure out how many total inches Jackie is. How many total inches is Jackie? Well, how many inches are there in 1 foot? So if we have 4 feet, how many inches is that? I don't know. How many inches is that? But I do know that in 1 foot, there's 12 inches. Now I'm ignoring this 8 for a minute, right? All right, so if I cross multiply, I'd have 1 times x, which is x, equals 4 times 12 is 48. So that's telling us that 4 feet is equal to 48 inches. All right, but she's not just 4 feet tall. She's an extra 8 inches over that, right? So really, Jackie is 56 inches tall. So that was our first conversion, feet to all inches. Now we want to know how many centimeters tall she is. So we need this conversion factor. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Whoops. All right. And we have how many centimeters? Well, we don't know yet, but we do know we have 56 inches. Sometimes it's helpful if you want to put the all the units, so you make sure the units are together, the inches are together, and the centimeters are together. Oops, CM. All right, so 1 times x is x. And now to get our final answer, we're multiplying 2.54 times 56. So the answer is 142.24 centimeters. That's what I got. All right, see if you guys can pause and do the last one on your own and then come back and check your answer. How many ounces of trail mix are in a bag that weighs this many kilograms? Input only, oh, ignore that part. All right, so 1 pound is equal to 0.454 kilograms, and 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. All right, so we got 3 different units going on here. We have kilograms, pounds, and ounces. So we can only do one proportion at a time. So the final answer is how many ounces are in this many kilograms. So the first thing we have to do is figure out how many pounds is this. How many pounds is this? Well, 1 pound is equal to 0.454 kilograms. And I want to know how many pounds is 0.681 kilograms. So we're going to cross multiply. 1 times 0.681 is 0.681. Is equal to, and now we're going to multiply x times 0.454, which is 0.454x. And now to get x by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 0.454, 0.454. All right, and when we divide that in our calculators, 0.681 divided by 0.454, we get 1.5. 1.5 pounds. Pounds is actually LBS. I don't know why, but it is. All right, so this bag is actually 1.5 pounds. The question is, how many ounces is that? How many ounces? So now we're going to use this conversion factor. So if 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, and we have 1.5 pounds, last thing we want to know is how many ounces that is. We don't know. But 1 times x is x, and 16 times 1.5 is 24. 24 ounces. And that's our final answer. All right, guys. I hope you got your answers right today. If you need me, please join me during my office hours or send me a voicemail and I will get back to you. Everyone, I mean, not a voicemail, but a Canvas inbox message. Everyone have a great day and I will check on you later.